I'm going to hand you a glass of Prosecco.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry they're so full.
Girl, it's full.
It's also 9:30 at night.
So I'm going to take a swig
I'm a liar.
first.
It's 10:15.
Take a swig first before we start.
Oh, you have to cheers.
Rip.
Caitlin just committed a sin.
Yeah, that was a party foul. It was a mortal sin. Cheers. I'm going to spill it.
We're almost 30 and you came into my content.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 17 of Zesty Thoughts with your host.
17.
Yeah, girl.
Wow.
That's actually my lucky number. We'll talk about that later in the episode. But
Yeah, I didn't know that.
this is your host, Annábla, and I have a very special guest finally on the pod. It's been a long time coming. Cammy, this is, for those of you who don't know, this is like one of my best friends, Cammy. Corwin.
Hello.
And she, like, we like joked about starting a pod in forever, I feel like.
And then I moved away.
Yeah. So she
Sorry.
lives down near San Diego. She lives in Oceanside and I live in Santa Monica. So we were like, well, a long distance pod, I don't know about that, but like maybe it's in the cards for us one day if we're ever like living near each other. And she's trying to convince me to move down here.
She should.
We'll see. I'm not going to make any promises, but we could always do like an episode every once in a while.
I mean, I'm down. I can also come to you. Like
Yeah.
I said, I will, just to start, for anybody that is even considering San Diego, LA, like just Southern California in general, the train system is the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
It genuinely, so Caitlin during New Year's last
Yeah,
year, you
yeah,
took the train down, right?
Yeah, it was New Year's.
So she took the train down. Her mom works in Santa Monica. So she took the train from Santa Monica
No,
right here to
she works in Santa
Oceanside.
Ana.
Oh.
Santa Ana. Yeah, from
Yes,
the
yes.
Santa Ana train station. Yeah.
So she drove down with her from Santa Ana to Oceanside, and it was like an hour and a half. Like
Yeah.
not
So I
even.
caught the train at the Santa Ana station, and then from there I went straight to Oceanside, and it was less than an hour and a half.
Yeah,
And I think it was like running fast, which is like
even better.
crazy because public transportation in California is like notorious for like not being good. I mean, I guess if we're talking like buses and like metro, that's like probably where that like comes from. But yeah, it was like fine. I had a great experience. And then like Cammy, now that you're down here, like you use the train all the time to go like into San Diego, right? And like,
Well, yeah, because if you need another reason to move to San Diego, I was actually able to get my car insurance down. Granted, I live in Oceanside, so I can walk like 10 minutes to anywhere, and I live 10 minutes from the ocean. But I told them I would be using my car less, and I got my insurance down from $250 a month to $165.
that's a big like leap down
That's
though.
insane.
That's like kind of
Especially
crazy.
because I officially paid off my car, so I only pay insurance now, so I'm not paying
helps.
the car loan.
But also like
God.
that's a pretty big leap. Like, but I guess that's like considering like if your mileage that you drive every year annually is going to go down significantly, then it's like, okay, well then.
Well,
you don't have to
especially
pay
when
as
I was
much.
driving in LA, when I drive, 2 miles and it'd take me 15,000 hours.
Yeah, that's like a whole other ball game. Whereas like now you could like literally like there's like restaurants and bars and like grocery stores like walking distance. Like a lot of the times you like don't even have to drive to like do
and
regular things.
right now it's like a 45-minute train ride. We bring cards, we play on the train, and we are season ticket Padre holders. We go all the time. We just take the train down. It's great. I love it.
Yeah. So it's great. Yeah, highly recommend. Like both of us have had great experiences on the train.
If you're listening to this, also help me convince Caitlin to move down here, please.
She's like, okay, y'all. So give me some
Rocky,
help over here.
if you're listening, please come with me.
We'll all just move down. I don't know about like the Padre convert though. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll talk
unfortunately.
about you being a Dodger later. Fine.
That's gonna be a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna not be an option. But
We'll see. We're both in the playoffs this
But
year.
the vibes are good down here,
we'll see
y'all.
next
That's
year.
all that matters.
Let's just real quick. Caitlin hasn't been to a Dodger game all year.
Yeah, I haven't been to
Tuesday
one
is her
this
first
season.
game, so
And it's Padres Dodgers, so we will see.
And
I'm sure I'll be getting
I'm going to be sending her
reamed
really
in
mean texts the entire
I'm going to be abused via text message.
Yeah, yes.
For the entire game.
I feel like when I take a sip of this Prosecco, I need to like move the mic so no one's hearing like.
No, listen to the bubbles. I don't know if you'll be able to hear. Maybe I can boost so you can hear.
The bubbles isn't the issue. The sipping is the issue.
I'll do the ASMR.
We're not trying to ASMR. You're trying to make that worse. That was
rough. But yeah, okay. Anyway, let's dive into a few little bullet points that we have. I feel like people should at least get like a little rundown of like how we know each other and like how we met, how this friendship came to be.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about our friendiversary, and it's literally we just passed 9 years. It's
also,
almost 10 years.
100% wrong in my phone.
It
said like December 19th. Didn't have a year. It was just December 19th, and we met like the first week of school, which starts in August. And
yeah, so that's incorrect.
Where did my iPhone get December 19th from? That's the day before my birthday. Like,
maybe it was like a friendiversary with someone else, and you like wrote it wrong.
Your contact. And none of my other friends have friendiversaries in my phone. You're the only one. So they were just like, I guess we'll just put a random one in there.
But I feel like it was easy for us to like figure out when it was, because we met in college, and we're both freshmen at Cal State Northridge, and we met like the week before.
The exact moment. Do you want to hear?
Yeah, the week before school started, because freshmen move in like early, for those of you that like aren't aware of that as like a thing within college in the US. That's like a thing. So
my like vivid memory of this. I remember getting this haircut and being like, I'm going to come to college with this. Like, for people that are watching this on YouTube, it was about here. For people that are listening to this, imagine like mid-neck, like Coraline.
It was giving Coraline,
but
for sure. But
the fact that my hair has like a natural wave to it means that at the ends, if I didn't straighten it every single day, I looked like Pippi Longstocking. It was really horrible.
Yeah.
And
Miss Pippi herself.
Caitlin, Hannah, Jared, and Neil. I think the four of you.
Yeah.
We were all like a collective unit during freshman year.
We were.
My parents drove me down. I am from Oregon originally. My parents drove me down, and I remember they had taken me to buy like a bed pad or something for my,
like a mattress protector.
Yeah, for like my dormer bed, because they're tiny and not comfortable
and crusty. Yeah.
And I walk into the dorm. We lived in the music dorm, obviously.
Which was kind of sick that was even a thing.
Yeah, we had like a studio and like a piano room, which
like
we
practice
spent
rooms,
most of our time in. Because
the music building, like to preface, was like the opposite, like the furthest away from the dorms it could be, like on the opposite end of campus. So, like it was nice to have practice rooms. Anyway.
Yeah, I did not have a car the first semester. I definitely did the second, because it's that fucking far.
Yeah.
God. But my parents and I were coming back. And the four of them and like several other students that I have no idea, we're all playing a game.
We're doing like icebreakers in the lobby.
In like on the floor in a circle.
Our RA managed to get a group of freshmen.
The only thing he did right.
To do icebreakers in the lobby. But I feel like everyone was like cool. Like I feel like some people were like clowning the fact that we were doing it. But like we were also like all still like trying to make friends. So it was like, okay, maybe we should like actually do this. We can meet people. I walked in
right at the end. And so everyone was like about to get up, and I was like, huh? And they had all been there for a couple days already. Like I came at the like end of freshman welcome
we had
week.
Been there for like 3 or 4 days already, like moved in, unpacking and stuff.
So I walked in, and I remember vividly.
I remember you walking in too. It's like crazy. Caitlin, and your parents.
You and Stephen Westcott.
Oh my gosh.
Who... by the way, if you hear this,
shout out.
Works with me at Music Reports.
Oh, really?
He works with me.
Oh, I didn't know that. No way.
I've seen you at a couple picnics.
Hi, Steven. Shout out.
You all walked up to me, and you were like, "Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm Hannah. I'm Steven." And I was like, "Hi, like I just moved in." Like I was so nervous. And you were like, "Do you need any help unpacking?" And you all came back to my room with me, and I was like, "Mom, Dad, leave." Like, no, you need to leave right now so I can make some friends.
Get out.
So I was like, I had a full ride to Oregon State, and I turned it down because I was like, I have lived in like a 3-mile radius my entire life. My high school, my elementary school was a preschool through 8th.
Yeah, so
it doesn't even have a preschool anymore. The preschool doesn't exist.
That's literally preschool
anymore. And then the high school is, you can literally see it from the middle school.
That's wild.
You walk 2 feet and it's right there. And then the college, because I live in Corvallis, Oregon, for anyone that even knows where that is, the college is like the entire town. So I would have lived in a like 3-mile radius my entire life.
Yeah, if you had gone there.
Yes. And I was like, cool, I won't have to pay for college for 4 years, but will I grow any? Also, the only major they had was music education.
And you weren't really like vibing.
And I was like, I don't want to teach music. Like I could.
Yeah, but
because I, do and did, like, but
not what
I
you wanted to
want
pursue.
To go for that. I wanted to get a degree in something else, and then like I feel like you would probably agree with this. Like you can get a degree in anything in music and end up teaching.
Music. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
in
I feel like
capacity.
that's like so many people that I work with, and like people that I know that teach. Like they have different like types of music degrees, but like if you're proficient in an instrument and you're like decent at explaining it, and you're like personable, like I feel like you can pull off teaching. I also
feel like for our degree with music industry, it helped with a lot of like student questions that I had. If they had any questions about like going into the business or going into singing, or like what's the best path, like not that I know all the answers, but I knew kind of how to navigate it at the time.
Yeah, definitely.
But Caitlin, Steven, and Hannah all came back to my room and they helped me unpack. And that night there was some like student I guess event that was going on, and you were the only one out of the 3 of you that gave me your cell phone number.
Yeah.
And I texted you and I was like, hey, like I'm going to dinner with my parents, but like I'll meet up with you guys after. And I came back to your room after you guys were done.
Yeah.
And we sat there for hours and talked. And Caitlin and I she was literally the first person that was ever nice to me when I moved to California. And it's so wild, like 9 years later.
You were my first Oregon friend.
Especially.
That's a little backstory on like the gist of how we met. I mean, also to like add to this, like we, in addition to like living on the same floor within the dorms, like we also had a bunch of classes together.
Most of our classes, yeah.
Most of them, at least freshman year, even though our emphasis within the music department was not the same freshman year, like everybody takes like the like kind of core, you take theory classes, like all that kind of stuff. And so a lot of those we had together, like I think we had like piano together, our musicianship.
To give you guidelines into us having classes together, our junior year, we had a teacher. This is when we were also living together in the same apartment. We had a teacher.
Too fast.
We would show up late every single day. He wouldn't start class until Caitlin and I walked in. He said, okay, they're here. We can start now.
Literally, we'd come in with our coffee. Like at least 5 minutes late, if not 10.
Talking about nothing that had to do with the music industry, and we'd walk in and he'd be like, okay, we can now begin.
Yeah.
He would wait for us.
Yeah. Which is kind of nice, honestly. I like also, kind of love that.
Jeffrey Izzo, love you so much.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like a backstory. So like we met freshman year, had a bunch of classes together, like became really close, like went to like a bunch of like mixers together and like events and like, did we go to Big Show together too? That was like,
that's a story.
Crazy interesting night. And I am averse to pineapple vodka after that night because it was.
Well, I forgot about that part of it, but thank you for reminding me.
Need I say more? Yeah, that was a crazy night. Honestly, it was, what's his name? Tyga. Oh, and wasn't Kylie Jenner on stage? Yeah, I forgot about that. Until right now. To give you
context, yeah, it was when they were dating, and she was nowhere close to being a mother of 2.
Yeah. 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 It was when they were dating, and she like came out on stage and was freaking out
for 2 seconds and then left.
That was a night. But yeah,
also, someone else opened for him. It was like
I forget.
It doesn't.
Oh, it was that like two guys, and they produced that one record for, I forget who.
They were DJs.
One of them played like sax or like a horn or of some sort, and then the other dude played keys.
Yes.
I don't know.
That
We're
really
gonna try to find it, and we'll like put the name of it on the thing here. Yeah, we'll insert like a little blip of something so that you understand what we're talking about. But yeah, they opened and they were good. And then Tyga played, and that was very interesting.
A little dark note, that was actually the last big show at CSUN that was at night, because I'm so sorry for anyone listening that was
trigger
there.
warning.
Trigger. That night there were helicopters when we were walking back to the dorms, because apparently a girl was kidnapped and
like assaulted,
raped, and they now do big show during the day. I don't know if they've changed that. Maybe they've just made more safety precautions.
I don't know. I doubt it.
I think next year was like Little Dicky at like 2 p.m, and it was a very different experience.
I mean, everyone was like, I don't know, we're really gonna go, but yeah, it was kind of dark because there were, it was like this massive. I feel like low key when we were at CSUN, there was a lot of weird stuff that happened like on campus. There was like that random like threat when wasn't that senior year?
The only reason I passed tech.
That was that was during finals, mind you, of our senior year, and like it was kind of a crazy situation because
very large.
There were also like slurs written like in bathrooms and stuff,
and that's how they found it.
That's how it like started. There was like rumors going around that like they had found like graffiti and like slurs written at places, and then
this was the year right before 2020. We graduated in 2019.
Yeah, it was literally spring of 2019, and then on top of that, then I don't know where the threat came from, but it was
so they found slurs in one of the bathroom stalls in the music building, actually.
Yeah, I forgot that in Cyprus.
And then they actually found a dad that had a child. So to give you like a layout of Northridge, it was the high school that was on the opposite end, kind of near the gym.
Yeah.
One of his kids, I have no idea who this guy was, but one of his kids went to this middle school, and he put a thread out on Facebook that he was going to bomb CSUN.
It was online. Yeah, I remember that now.
Because he was apparently like an older student that went to CSUN, and he had a kid that went there and
went to that middle school there.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it was like a weird situation. The thing that was really crappy was that like I feel like at the time, because it happened to land like on finals week, there was like a lot of pressure from like students to be like
so scared that they were just like, we're just gonna cancel it because we're getting so much feedback. Like if we make you come to campus and something does happen, we are liable.
Well, I mean, I think they like got there eventually, but I feel like to begin with there was a lot of like fear on campus, and I feel like they were kind of like hesitating to cancel because I mean, at least the rhetoric that like I feel like the chatter among students was like, oh, they probably think that it's just a student that wants to get out of finals, so maybe they're not going to cancel finals, or maybe they're not going to like really take it seriously, because a lot of people were like, well, yeah, like how do we know it's legit? Maybe someone just like doesn't want to fail a class and they want to like have an excuse, you know? So there was like a lot of like rumors that it like wasn't real, but then there was like heightened police presence on campus and like all this stuff. So it was like clearly very like legitimate. But no, they ended up not like caving, but they ended up like taking it seriously eventually, and like we took finals like online that semester because it was like, dude, no one wanted to be on campus. And that had not been the first time there was like a threat. Like I worked at the coffee shop in the library on campus, and there was a random
that day, but I remember you texting me during it,
dude,
there was like
there was like
some like young security guard took a photo of his gun in like the cart or whatever.
Yeah, it was like the weirdest thing ever. Like in the library, the coffee shop is like on the main level when you enter, and there's like obviously floors like above and below, like basement level and stuff. And so I was like the middle of my shift, and then there were like whispers and like people started like talking or something, and then one of the security guards who like we talk to all the time because of like when we open, I used to open all the time, so I'd see him, and he was like, oh, there's just to let you know, there's like a rumored like someone posted a tweet with a gun in their hand, and like said something about the library, like said like something Oviatt library or something. And it had clearly been taken in the library, but there was like no evidence that had been taken that day or whatever, but they posted it. So it was kind of like, oh, like what, is there someone in here with a gun? Like that's crazy.
This was like a new security guard that was like 19 or 20 and like just didn't, he thought it was like cool.
That's what it ended up being, but it was like very, like it was, anyway, long story short, there were like a few instances like that, like when we were students there, it was like, oh my god, dude.
On a
like,
lighter note, while we're talking about the library, for anyone that doesn't know, fun fact, the CSUN library is, if anyone ever watched Disney Channel when they were young, if you've ever seen Sky High is the CSUN library.
Yeah, that can't, like
I remember when I came to campus one day, I was like, I don't know why this shit looks familiar, because I loved that movie when I was younger. And then it's also, granted, this movie sucked, but the movie, I don't remember what it's called. This Is Our Life or something like that. That's not correct.
I don't know.
But it's a movie about Zac Efron being a DJ.
I have not seen that.
Horrendous. I highly don't recommend it.
But I think I want to see it now.
The entire like opening 15-20 minutes is him DJing at CSUN, and like there's a banner that says CSUN. He's on the steps.
Oh really? Like on campus? Oh, whoa.
It's a horrible movie. It was actually, it came out like our sophomore year.
Oh really? I kind of just want to see it.
And like,
I think I remember when they were filming on campus a few times. Like
if you don't want to watch it, the last 20 minutes is him doing like a DJ DJ set. It's like some festival, and it's the worst DJ set you've ever heard. It's like at one point he has like bird sounds. I'm not even fucking kidding. It's horrible.
I kind of just want to see it because I'm like curious now. I love even if it's bad, like that's fun. That'll be more fun for me.
But for more fun,
I can go into it knowing
more fun. It's Sky High. It's Sky High. We're not gonna. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on a lighter note, like we had like a bunch of classes together, and so after sophomore year, I also lived in the dorms. Shout out to my roommate Kenya. She was so cool. And then junior year, was that junior year we moved in together?
Yeah, so my freshman year, obviously I lived in the dorms with Caitlin, and then my sophomore year, I moved into an apartment off Reseda with Alyssa, Christy, and Julia, Julia we were just at dinner with.
Yeah. Like, hey Julia. Shout out.
And then Julia graduated, so we needed someone to fill the spot, and I was like, Caitlin's moving in. We have to have Caitlin move in.
I was like, let's go.
So Caitlin moved in, and then Christy and Alyssa graduated, and then our senior year, Caitlin and I were like, we should just stay living together. So we started looking at apartments, and ironically, we moved in with our friend Brianna, who we're still very close with. Mm-hmm. She lives very close to me down here in San Diego, and another girl who we won't mention. We don't need to bring up every name.
Y'all know the roommate-ish. You know what it's like.
If you know us, you know who we're talking about.
Yeah, you know what it's like.
We moved in with them because we were looking at apartments, and we toured the apartment building, and my Oregon country accent comes out.
Yeah,
very
that was
occasionally.
Crazy.
We had toured a building, and then we texted them, and we were like, we really like this building. Like, how do you guys feel about this? And they were like, we currently live there. Would you like to just move in? And we were like, yeah, great. See you next week.
This situation was so funny though, because like Brianna and I were sorority sisters. At that point, I had already dropped out of the sorority. I should probably just do a whole other episode on like my experience being in a sorority for like a year and a half. But regardless, Brianna and I were in the same sorority, and as with like the other roommate that we had, and we knew each other. We were like acquaintances, but we weren't like close friends at that point. But we were like Facebook friends, like friends on IG, and we were sisters at one point, so we were like, so I saw her post on like Facebook, in like a Facebook group, like a roommate group, that they were looking for people to fill their room. And so I had texted her, or fill a room in their apartment. They had like a 2-bed. And I had like responded to her, or I texted her or something. I was like, hey, like I'm looking for a place with me and my friend. Let's make this happen. Since I like know you, like this will be perfect. So we don't have to like worry about finding like random other people, like strangers. And then Cammie and I went and toured Torrena, and that place was like so nice.
Not knowing
It's like a
currently
nice
live there because they just didn't say anything about where they lived at the time.
They made it sound like they wanted to move out of where they were living completely. So like we had toured this place and we were like, this place is so nice. It's like a high end like apartment complex, you know.
And one of our friends, Jessica Thomas, which
she had lived there before too. Yeah,
we had been to her apartment, which ironically, she lived in the exact same apartment, one floor up.
Yeah, the floor above.
So we had the exact same layout, all of it, and we were like, we've been in this building before. Why do we like it so much? Like there were 2 pools, we had a full gym.
Yeah, it was nice.
The gym had like
a dance studio, like a yoga studio
that had built-in workouts into like a TV.
Yeah, it was nice.
I was like, that was all included. There was no like extra, and there was a parking garage.
We needed to live there. We were like, this is crazy. And so I guess we had went and toured, and then we said something to Brianna like, oh hey, like this place is like really nice. We just toured it. Like, are you interested in like something like this? And they're like, oh, we like actually live there, but I think they had roommates at like a couple that lived there with a dog at the time. And they were
one
moving
of their
out.
roommates got pregnant and they moved out.
Yeah, they were moving out, and they were like, I remember when we like came to look at
they had to get a carpet cleaner because the dog that lived in our room shit everywhere. Like the carpet was rough.
Yeah, like we went and like looked at it, and I just remember Brianna being like so like nice and being like, don't worry, like we're gonna get it clean. Like she was being apologetic already. Like she didn't want to like make a bad impression, you know. So she was like, we're gonna get it cleaned. Like they just had a dog and they like didn't like pick up, and it like went in here like in carpet, like it was like foul.
To be fair, the carpets were not that bad. You could definitely tell that like someone or something had shit somewhere. No, they were bad.
When we walked in, we could like smell it. Like
no, you could smell the dog shit. But like I will say when we moved into 205, our apartment, my sophomore year with Julia, Christy, and Alyssa and I, 2 dudes had lived there before. And the carpets were black. Like we came to visit them one time. They were like playing video games, and we weren't even thinking about it because we at that point were like, we had just met Julia, who we adored, and we were like, we really like this girl, even if she doesn't want to live like in this apartment, because she was living with these 2 guys and her friend Courtney, who we also love. She was like, just come look at it, and the apartment itself was great. But the carpets were literally black. Like there were black spots everywhere. And the carpet when it was cleaned was white, if that tells you anything.
It's crazy.
So when I walked in and Brianna had said like the dog shit places, I was thinking like it's just gonna be full shit everywhere. Like still pieces of poop. And,
yeah, no, it wasn't like it was
not as bad.
It wasn't like it was like in the carpet. It just kind of smelled like faintly like dog. I also wasn't
with you.
It just smelled like dog.
I also wasn't with you, now that I think about it, because I didn't meet Brianna until we had fully moved in. You came to go look at it, but I couldn't come with you at the time. Yeah. I don't know where I was.
I don't remember that. I don't know. I remember you being with me, but maybe not.
I wasn't.
Maybe not.
We went to view like a different apartment on like the ground floor.
I do remember that. But that was when we toured.
Yeah, but you went to their apartment to look, and I couldn't come with you at the time.
Yeah. Regardless, it smelled. I mean, you couldn't like see anything. There were actually really no stains, but it definitely smelled like there had been a dog in there. And to preface this, Brianna already had a dog. Like she had Mello. She had a little pug.
For anybody that knows us, Mello's the sweetest little baby pug in the
light
world.
of our life. Literally.
Also, Caitlin and I fucking terrorized him when we lived with him. I can't even lie. We would come home and we would bark.
No, we would like try to get him to howl. We'd be like,
because when he barked, he would like every good singer that you love that has a little rasp. Mello had a little rasp when he barked.
He'd be like, but it was like really so
we can't
cute.
Even do it justice.
You have to get the video, and then we'll just put the video in the edit. That way people can hear it.
My entire senior year, my entire Instagram story was just Mello rasping.
No, he's literally the cutest boy ever. And I had on my bed once we were officially moved in, it was like sunshine and rainbows. We're like, Brianna's so nice. Like we have a little black pug to like live with. Oh my god. So I had a comforter. I had a comforter
that was black
on my bed that I pretty much used all the time. It was like my one comforter.
And Mello loved it. And he would go lay on it, and we would lose him.
It was pitch black. It was like fleece. And Mello would go and sleep on my bed and like curl up in like the folds by the pillows. And like, we literally wouldn't be able to see him.
I remember
he would
the
blend
first time
in
it happened.
Completely.
Brianna came, like we were watching him, and then we went into the living room to go watch something on the TV. And we didn't realize that he had gone to lay down on your bed. And we just like didn't even think about it. His eyes were closed.
We didn't know where he was.
And Brianna came home and she was like, "Where's Mello?" And he was like dead to the world. He was tired because we were playing with him for so long. And none of us, we walked into our room. We couldn't fucking find this dog.
We like looked in his direction.
It took us 45 minutes. We ran him around the hallways. Like we were like, oh my God, maybe he got out. Like I opened the door for like 2 seconds to take the trash out.
We were like spiraling. We were like, did we accidentally like let him out?
And finally, I don't know why we didn't just do the howl, because he would have woken up. But we came back in and we were like, Mello, ow. And he jumped off the bed and we were like, oh my God.
This whole time?
You're kidding.
It's literally nuts. That's like the fun. Like to this day, that is like one of my favorite things about living with Mello. Is like the cutest
and
thing
so
ever.
he'd lay on it all the time, but we at least, knew to look there.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yeah. We're like, oh, he could be on Caitlin's bed. Might be blending in.
And then after we moved out of that apartment, once we graduated, May of 2019, both Caitlin and I had an existential crisis, as every post-grad does.
Yeah.
Because I had just gotten out of a relationship. I also, like, I broke up with somebody. I didn't have a job. I didn't have school, like the structure of school.
Yeah.
I was like, should I move home to be with my parents? What are we going to do? So I think you, me, and Brianna sat in a Starbucks every single day for like 2 months and just applied for jobs.
Yeah, dude.
And looked at apartments, obviously, because we were like, where are we going to live as well? And thank God for Caitlin's parents. Caitlin is from Huntington Beach, as she's talked about. But her parents were moving back to Santa Monica. And they were like, Santa Monica is expensive. And they found a place in Marina Del Rey. We looked at a couple. Mm-hmm. And they were like, we could just get one with an extra bedroom and you guys can live with us and like figure your shit out.
Yeah.
Like, thank God.
Yeah, because you did not want to go back home. You wanted to stay here. It's Callie, baby. She didn't want to leave Callie. She's like,
I'm going to give like a real quick detour. Like literally the fastest detour on earth. During 2020, when I moved in with Caitlin's parents, I had a job with Nike and Adidas at the time. I was doing production and working on their photo shoots. And during February, so I moved in with them in August, and in February, I had a shoot in Portland. And Caitlin and her mom, right before I left, were like, because Caitlin's mom is a nurse, had brought up that there was like some kind of sickness going around, but like maybe it wouldn't be anything. And, I have a bunch of health issues, which is a whole other story. And I flew to this 2-week super shoot in Portland, Oregon. My parents are in Corvallis. And I did not pack enough clothes, but was there for 2 weeks. 3 days into the shoot, COVID-19 shut down. And I could not get back on a plane because of all of my like health guidelines.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were just like, you probably could have, but it was also just like scary because you were like, well, I don't want to like risk that because of like my health issues. Like
my mom was about to be 70. My dad is close enough because my mom robbed a cradle. Not really.
This was low-key before people like were even wearing masks. Like it was like right at the beginning when it was like, oh, what is this? Like how does it even spread? Like what do we even do?
Exactly.
So people were places like on vacation and stuff, out of town or whatever. And so like airports were like, first of all, they were like crazy. Second of all, it was kind of like, oh, well, like, is it even safe to like go on a plane if this is like spreading like that rapidly? Like people did not have a clue. So yeah.
And I called my parents and I was like, hey, like I thought it was going to be like a week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
Or like
I thought it was going to be like a week. Even a month with my parents would have been a lot. But that week turned into 10 fucking months.
That's
and
brutal.
If it gives you any...
And you only had your stuff that you like had with you.
You had to mail me stuff.
Yeah.
You had to mail me some of my clothes. And my mom luckily like granted, I am 5'8". My mom is 5'3", so we could share tops, but pants weren't really going to be an option. So yeah, I got stuck at home, and I love how much my mother loves me, but my room was still a shrine to me. And when I say a shrine to me, there were photos of me everywhere, and all you could see at night were the whites of my fucking eyes. It was horrifying.
When I went to Corvallis for the first time, what was this? This was
God, for my recital.
Wasn't that May of 2019?
Right after we graduated.
So the year prior, right after graduation, Cammie did a senior recital, but she did it in Oregon.
Yeah, because we were music business. So
yeah,
I was originally vocal performance my first year. So if I had stuck with it, I would have had a senior recital. And once we graduated, I was like, I'm going to do it anyways, and I'm going to sing what I want. Because there would have been so many guidelines. Yeah. And so I went back home to Corvallis, and I did a senior recital, and I was like, Caitlin, but you have to come and you have to sing with me.
And we did. We sang
That's Life.
Oh, it was so
Frank
cute.
Sinatra. And she played guitar for me on one of my songs that was like kind of about all my sickness, health journey, which was great.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a beautiful recital.
Yeah. What was Caitlin's first thoughts of Corvallis?
Oh, well, I walk in. So to preface this, I flew into Eugene.
She was supposed to fly into Portland.
So, well, yeah, there was, of course, it's American Airlines. So there were like issues, obviously. Of course, naturally there are. But like we were supposed to fly into Portland and then like get picked up, which like, honestly, it was better that we ended up in Eugene because it's like closer to where you were.
And Eugene, for anybody that doesn't know, is University of Oregon. Where I am from is Oregon State University. They're very different, and they are hardcore rivals. Yeah. It's ducks versus beavers. Don't get them mixed up.
I knew, but I didn't like understand the scope of this rivalry. So I land in Eugene, and it's a tiny airport. There are giant, like, human-sized, like
ducks.
Larger than human-sized duck statues everywhere with like different outfits on, like different themed and dressed ducks, because the university, their mascot is the ducks. So I walk in
green
there,
and yellow should also just never go together.
What is this, And I always tease Cammie now. I'm like, "Go Ducks, go Ducks!"
Yeah,
and she's like,
"Don't so much. We were talking about this last
blasphemy to me
last night, tonight." We were talking about it when we were at dinner tonight because we were in Vegas once and we got locked out of our room and we had some Pringles, and Caitlin, as Pringles are, she puts them in her mouth.
Put two together and make it like a duck bill. And I was like, Cammie.
She put them in her mouth and she goes, "Fuck the beavers."
I forgot.
And I was like,
I said
I'm gonna fucking kill this girl.
Oh my God.
Caitlin just spilled some Prosecco. It's not a podcast with Cammie if no one spills anything.
Let me take a sip.
Honestly, I'm more proud of myself that I haven't spilled. All right, so now we've talked about, I think, covered all of how we met.
Like a lot of how we met. We probably should just do a part 2 and just like talk about other crazy stories that we have. But we have
we
have some other segments that we like want to do that we like planned out. So we're gonna do those.
We also are going to follow the trajectory that Caitlin has put together for this podcast, because I have listened to these episodes and I've prepared, because there were things that Caitlin and I will say, when we did live together, we really never fought.
No, not like actual fight.
When?
What do you mean
except when we did like Instagram filters, when we would do like this or that.
When we did the this or that, so there was like beef a little bit.
We have a hot toddy take that as soon as she put this on the podcast, I said, when I'm a guest, I know exactly what our fight's going to be about. So we'll get to it. Just wait.
Okay, so should we do the this or that or the hot toddy take first? What do you think?
I feel like I want to leave them guessing just a little because I brought it up. So we'll do this or that.
Okay, so we're gonna start with some rapid fire this or that's, because when we lived together, at least after graduation, we used to go through like IG filters all the time and do the this or that's, like the ones where you would like tilt your head and it would select the answer.
Especially when we couldn't sleep, we would ask them to each other. I think there was one,
and we would like divulge and like talk about them, and like
there's one I vividly remember of Caitlin just very much bullying me because I've had contacts and glasses since I was 8. I think one of the questions was like, "Are your kids gonna wear glasses?" And I said like, oh, I kind of want to date someone with glasses. And
Yeah,
Caitlin
yeah.
goes, bitch, your kids wouldn't even be able to see.
They wouldn't have eyes.
Yeah, they wouldn't have eyes. And I was like, I'm never doing this with you again, you little fucking bully.
Pretty crazy thing to say. I don't know if I'm gonna stand by that, but
so we're gonna rapid
it was funny in
fire
the moment.
these as much as we can, but we might have to elaborate because it's us.
Yeah, what I can do is we can do like a time. We can do like a minute of rapid fire
I'm ready.
for these, and then after the minute, we'll discuss any of the ones that we want to like divulge further on if we want to like go deeper. Okay, this or that questions, and we'll start right now. Okay, television series or movie? Movie. Don't think.
To television series.
Okay, delivery or sit down?
Delivery.
Board games or card games?
Board games.
Board games, yeah. Video games or books?
Books.
Books. Car or truck?
Truck.
Truck. Bus or train?
Train.
Train. Paperback book or ebook?
Paperback book. 1,000%.
Audiobook. No, that's not an option, but I pick an audiobook. Summer or winter?
Winter.
Winter. Country or city? Just answer. City. Broccoli or green beans?
Green beans.
Broccoli. That might be a hot toddy take. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beach near the mountains. Which counts. That counts as an answer. Okay, we'll discuss that after.
Pick one.
Okay, beach. Soda or juice?
Juice.
Pepperoni pizza or cheese?
Well, you don't eat meat.
Well,
cheese.
if it's vegan, I'll choose pepperoni pizza. What about you?
Is there vegan pepperoni?
Yeah.
Okay, pepperoni. I mean, I'd be regular pepperoni.
Okay, toilet paper goes under or over?
I do have
Over.
a conversation about this, but
Over. Can we, Corwin? You
over.
better say over.
Over, but
Are you trying to visualize it?
Yeah, I was like,
okay.
What does it look like?
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Yeah, pancakes. Morning or night?
Night.
Baseball or volleyball?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Even though I played
Okay,
ball.
so we'll stop there. Are there any of those that you wanted to
So many.
go further with? Okay, let's read through them. Any of those that you wanted to? Oh my gosh, the ad. Chat, bro.
I honestly, the delivery versus what?
It was sit down like versus delivery.
As I have gotten older, I will be 28 this year. As I have gotten older, like I have to really will myself to leave the apartment. And
Yeah. Well, you also work from home too.
No,
You're
exactly.
you're cozy,
so
dude.
I should want to go to like a sit down restaurant just
you're
to get out.
you're like in your little humble abode, like you're like cozy and comfortable.
No, but like
you're in your space.
But it's gotten to a point where like I'll leave the apartment and I'll be like, oh my god, I haven't left in a week.
That's crazy.
Like that's not good.
What? Well, but like you go grocery shopping every week, and like you have to like run
No.
errands.
Ed does the grocery shopping, and I Venmo him.
Like
we
he
split
will
it
go. So
because
you
he's already
technically-
out.
So you technically haven't.
Like
left.
I'll put them away when he gets
Damn,
home.
girl, that's
like we split it, and then we
crazy.
split cooking. But like, I will not leave the apartment.
So delivery is your answer,
The
but
only time I leave the apartment is to go to the gym, and
Yeah.
honestly, most of the time, I will either do like a home workout and I'll go to the gym half the time,
mm-hmm.
or I off TikTok. For anyone that's wondering if it works, you know that like stair stepper that everyone's seen. I love it,
was
and I
thinking of
got
getting one of
one,
those.
and like during work. I apologize if any of my bosses listen. It's not really well.
You're
But,
stepping away.
Like I'll put on an episode of something. Like another reason why you said like television series or movie, because I love movies.
Your vote was TV.
I love movies, but television series, I've been putting them on because I can just sit here and work and like binge watch a series throughout.
Yeah, and zone
like
out.
I restarted Grey's, which was such a mistake because there's so many seasons.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think I'm on, I started at 2.
That's a massive
last
undertaking,
month,
girl.
and I'm on season 15.
I mean, that's like me. I just started Game of Thrones, and Game of Thrones, but there's like 9 or 10
But
seasons.
you started for the first time.
Yeah, but Grey's, there's way more seasons. It's like very different. It's
Yeah,
like
and I'm
a
rewatching them.
long. Okay, let's see what else. The other one was.
I
oh,
hesitated
crap.
on car or truck because I obviously have only had cars,
Same.
but I've always wanted a truck. but parking a truck in California
Yeah, okay.
is a feat.
That's why we need to
It's
talk
a
about
feat.
this, because I feel like we need to preface, like, logistically,
It doesn't
living in California and specifically in LA, having a truck is like
Parking.
not ideal unless there's like sensors on like all four sides and you have like backup front camera, like then maybe I'd like consider it. But or like if you have a parking spot at home, like, but to go anywhere it's like a pain. Even now with my new car, it's like literally like 3 feet longer than like my old car, and I'm like, it's like harder to park than my other car. I mean, my other car was short.
My backup camera is the tiniest thing on earth. And even when I was parking with it the other day, I was like, oh, it's just my backup camera, and the sun was shining on it. I couldn't see shit.
Yeah, when it rains,
it's not even helpful.
When it rains, when
you get the wet spots,
when it happens to rain,
anything.
not that it rains often, but yeah, you get the wet spots and then you can't see anything.
Not even helpful.
So like logistically living in LA, I don't think I would ever have a truck just because it's like a pain. But like I like the idea of like having a truck that's like that, or like not like an actual Jeep, like Jeep brand Jeep, because Jeeps are kind of shit, but like a car that's like akin to that. There's a lot of space for everything. You're high up off the ground. Like you're safer with like not like off-roading instances, but like just any instance where like there's a big curb. Like, dude, I see trucks just like hop curbs sometime, and I'm like, that must be nice.
I've
like
always wanted a truck.
Low key.
I can't park it. I always said that, like, if I lived in Texas, I'm getting a fucking truck.
Yeah, I mean, girl.
I'm getting a truck.
Yeah, if you're in Texas, like
even a 2-seater.
Yeah.
They're hot.
Yeah, 2-seaters are kind of cool.
The other
like, they're
question
kind of a moment
on here was paperback or ebook, and you said audiobook. Which ebook and audiobook are technically the same thing. I guess at this point in time.
I feel like if I'm gonna sit down to like read, like I would rather just have a paper book so that I can make notes. But if it's a book that like, I've talked a little bit about this, that like I gravitate more towards like spiritual, like self-help type of books where like I would want to take notes. So like I feel like paper book, I would go for like that route. But if it's like fiction or like some type of story that's like taking me on more of a journey, I am like very audio, like I'm very audio, like I gravitate more towards like auditory, like I'm an audio learner, and like I just feel like it's like heightened for me. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to podcasts on YouTube, but like I don't like watch them. I just like listen because I have YouTube Premium. It's just easier for me.
I'm the opposite.
I feel like I would do books that were like fiction, audio, because then I could just like close my eyes and listen to them. Or while I'm like driving, I could obviously have my eyes open and just like listen while I'm driving. So if it's fiction, I think I would do audiobook, but like self-help and like spiritual books, like I want to take notes. So I would say like paperback. But
for me, I feel like I am such an old soul when it comes to like books. I love the smell of old books.
No, low-key, I agree. Books smell so good.
I remember my sophomore year. I don't even remember who showed it to me. I couldn't tell you. Might have been my freshman. If you live in LA, I've taken Caitlin here. If you live in LA, granted, avoid downtown LA at all costs. But
Hollywood.
Yeah. But if you happen to be in downtown LA or you want to make a day of this.
The Last Bookstore?
The Last Bookstore. The Last Bookstore is one of my favorite places in the entire world. I've never left that place without at least 3 books.
Like a handful.
And the fact that they take old books and they refurbish them and they put them right back on the shelves is one of my favorite things, and they pay you for them. And you can either get money back or you can get store credit. And they take textbooks. Hint, hint to any students. They do take textbooks.
I have a bunch of Ibra's old textbooks sitting in a box.
When I graduated, I took all my textbooks there. I got
in
like
my
50
closet
bucks for all of them, which is not a lot, but like I'll take it.
Now I know where to go.
Yeah, but genuinely, I would get like a coffee down the street. I would walk in a Last Bookstore, and I would spend like 17,000 hours there. I'd find one of the like little chairs. I have this list on my phone. It's called My Life's Library is what I like made.
What the hell?
That's what I called
cute.
it.
Damn,
I'll send it to you.
Mine's just like books to read. That's boring.
It's called
My
Life's Library, and it's books I want to read or books that I have on my list, and it's like hundreds of books. And every time I go to the Last Bookstore, I probably knocked off like 4 or 5. And I'm one of those people that like I will go on Google and I will look up like 100 books you should read before you die, 100 movies you should watch before you die. And I've made lists, and like there were some that I really tried to read. I'm gonna be honest. For all the people that love The Sun Also Rises, I really wish I liked it.
Damn, that might be one of Cammy's hot toddy takes. I haven't read it, so I have no background. But
Hemingway is a genius. I can't fault him. And The Sun Also Rises is like a beautiful depiction of Paris for the first half. I've only gone halfway through. But it's exactly what I just said. It's a depiction of Paris. Like every single sentence is, this building looks like a perfect rectangle. And then he goes on to define that rectangle for 3 more paragraphs. And it's the dullest read. Because of that, I was like, I don't know what the plot is. And I'm 7 chapters in. Like I know he's in love with a girl, I genuinely couldn't tell you what the plot is.
I would read like 2 or 3 sentences of that and be like, this is like not gonna be finished.
No, like I went to Vegas this April with 2 of my bosses. They invited me for a conference, and the 3 of us started talking about like our favorite authors and books, and my boss said Hemingway was his favorite book, and we got in a fight about The Sun Also Rises. I can't even lie. And it was like midnight, and I was like, we should probably stop talking about this.
We're done here. Nighty night. Okay, yeah, summer, winter, that was like an easy one for us, for sure. Winter. Yeah. Country or city, that's like, I feel like that's a really hard choice for me. Like I'm from like a suburb
as I've gotten older,
and I've like lived in a city. I think I like romanticize the idea of like living in a countryside. I don't know that I like ideally would like actually enjoy my life there unless I like had a fair amount of money and was able to like properly live off the land with like proper resources, but like also that like
I'm going to tell you right now,
you have to have enough money.
I went to Ed's baseball game today, and there were several bugs. Caitlin couldn't live in the country.
But
also with snakes, neither could I.
Yeah. I feel like for that reason alone, like it would be hard for me, but like I am not naive. Like I understand that like living in any sort of like countryside or like near off-grid living is like so much hard work. So it's like you're in the city, you're working a 9 to 5, you're working whatever. That's your contribution to society. But like when you are living in the country and like if you're living off of the land and like your own resources, like you trade that work in an office or whatever for like work on your farm or work like on your land. Exactly. It's like work is work. So it's like, what work would you rather do? Like it's like matters. It just depends like what you want. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it just like kind of depends. I guess I would have to say city.
Thoughts on broccoli or green beans?
Okay, I like green beans.
Yeah,
but I just like broccoli better. I don't know.
You want to know what?
I have no reason for that.
You want to know
really.
What ruined broccoli for me? Alyssa fucking Finn.
Why? Wait, what? Oh, because of the smell.
She would burn broccoli in our apartment, and it would smell like farts for
but
hours.
Just, like, broccoli alone smells like bad when it's cooked. I know,
but Alyssa Finn didn't know how to cook it.
But okay, I will say this: I
love you, Alyssa Finn, but like, I hope you have learned how to cook broccoli by now.
Let's hope and pray, girl. I don't know. Like, I think I just like broccoli better. And when I like do my meal prep, I will steam broccoli. And this is probably also kind of controversial. I will like steam the shit out of it to the point that it's like breaking up.
Oh no, so that it's like love
so that it's like
burned broccoli.
No. So that it's like essentially rice broccoli, but like overcooked rice broccoli,
like cauliflower rice, but broccoli rice.
Yeah, and I'll mix it in with like rice, lentils, beans, whatever protein.
I can't disagree with that.
It's very easy to like mask that there's a vegetable in your food. Not that I need the masking, but like green beans, I'm very picky about how the green beans are prepared. If they're not prepared the way that I like them, then I don't like them.
I get that only because I like them raw and cooked. So like I'm the exact opposite where like you could give me a green bean cold.
I could eat a green bean cold.
And just like I love the crunch of it.
Yeah, but also
like cooked. I'm totally fine. Like there's no like
pan
if it's
fried
still a
with
little
garlic?
crunchy, if it's soft,
girl,
you could just like throw some fucking olive oil and some salt and I'll eat it. Like broccoli, I feel like you do have to put the right like level of spice a little bit to make it.
See, I don't ever really like
but I could
worry
eat broccoli
about
raw as well.
Raw.
Raw. Broccoli.
I like raw broccoli too. Like,
yes,
yeah.
But when it's cooked, I think it's different.
Yeah.
With green beans.
It also stinks. I get it. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I do.
The toilet paper, I saw something. The toilet
over
paper
under.
Over or under. It said yeah, if it has a beard, it's correct. If it has a mullet, it's incorrect. So if it's under, that's why I was you saw me pause.
You were visually seeing the beard and the mullet.
Visualizing a beard and a mullet. And I was like, which one's right?
I've never heard that. That's funny.
Yeah, a beard is over and a mullet is under, and a mullet's wrong.
Yeah. I mean, they say statistically that if you have it under, that you will use more. Like, you'll waste more. Just like inadvertently. Yeah. Because you have to pull it further.
100%.
So, yeah. And then pancakes, I feel like that's like easy. I mean,
honestly,
waffles are great because of the crevices, but like just the fluffiness of pancakes, like they win in my book.
I think also pancakes are just easier to make. Like, if you have a waffle iron, you have a waffle iron. If you don't have waffles.
Yeah. Because like pancakes,
you can make
is
pancakes
just
on fucking
a pan,
anything.
Girl. You just need a pan. Should we do some more this or that, or should we go into some of these other hot toddy takes?
Our first hot toddy take I brought up earlier.
Let's
Caitlin
jump right
and
into it.
Have thought about this for almost 8 years.
3 years now.
So anyone that's listening, you have to give feedback.
Please comment.
Because we ask everyone we know. We go out to bars and I'll be like, please answer correctly. So we have to phrase this the right way so we're not influencing
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll edit a picture in of what we're talking about. Okay. Yes. We're not going to say anything. So we'll just put the picture right here. So what you are looking at, it is.
Imagine this on a ceiling or on the wall. I guess it's usually more on the ceiling. It's on the ceiling.
So it's on the ceiling. There is a nickname.
Several names for
There are nicknames for this thing. We argue over what the nickname for it is and like what it is like universally called, because my argument is that visually it looks more
and we'll pause for a sec so you can take a hot look.
It looks more, in my opinion, like what my nickname for it is, but
I can't disagree with that, but I've always called it this and everyone calls it this.
Yeah, but universally it is frequently referred to her name for it more frequently, but
we have gotten in screaming fights about this.
I still stand firm in that it looks more like my nickname. So I feel like my nickname is like validated further.
Right.
So we're going to say it on 3.
If you are still considering and looking at the photo, please pause. We are about to say, for me, it is a popcorn ceiling. For Caitlin, it is
cottage cheese ceiling.
And I think that that's just wrong. Obviously, it has come out in the news and like many formats that the little bumps, I guess, in the ceiling is asbestos. So if you have this on your ceiling, please get rid of it.
but like not like don't do it yourself. Like get it like professionally like done. Yeah.
I mean, maybe not die, but get sick.
Yeah. And don't like drill holes into it. Like if you want to like hang a plant, like but you have like cottage cheese ceilings.
Popcorn ceilings?
Cottage cheese ceilings. Don't just like drill a hole into it unless you have like a mask on in a way to like make sure that it's not like falling into your bedding and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that is like a pretty hot take that we have because like I'm very firm that it's cottage cheese because I feel like it looks more like cottage cheese than it does popcorn.
The only other fight that we've gotten in, when I moved in, we talked about me moving in with Caitlin and her parents after we graduated, which they saved our lives with that.
Mm-hmm.
When we first moved in, Caitlin has 2 cats. And when I was growing up, my dad, he still has never spoken about why he doesn't like cats. Something happened when he was a kid. But if I wasn't aware he didn't like cats, I was very aware when we started driving together and he'd swerve toward a cat if it was on the side of the road and he'd go, 10 points!
Mike!
He still does it. However,
not cool, Mike.
I've only had dogs my whole life. And it's not that
What kind of dogs have you had your whole life?
I've had beagles.
Beagie
bees.
So I'm a little bit partial to beagles now because of her.
I've had a beagle named Tasha, who was I actually had her for 18 years. My first tattoo
crazy for a beagle
was on the side of my foot. It used to say when I first got it, You'll never walk alone with a little paw print, and I'm not going to put it up to the screen because it doesn't say that anymore.
Not for
it
free.
It says "ol" because the U is gone. If you're ever going to get a tattoo on your foot,
never.
get it on the right spot. Or maybe don't go to the beach right after you get it. Maybe not right after. I think I went like a week after. Yeah. It wasn't healed.
Yeah, fair.
But I did get it touched up 2 times, and my tattoo artist said, if I touch this up again, I'm going to hit muscle. So I could probably get it touched up now because it's healed.
Yeah. You should. You should.
I do have lifetime touch-ups.
See if it'll stick this time.
I'd have to drive all the way to LA to get it touched up, and like, who looks at my foot?
Yeah.
But yeah, I had her for 18 years. I was born in December. She was born in April right after, and she was like my birth present a couple years after. So we were basically the same age, and I turned 18 a couple months before her. We actually had to put her down on her 18th birthday, and I loved her so much. And my parents, she died in 2015.
Oh my gosh, before you went to school?
She died in May of 2015, my senior year of high school.
Girl.
And then
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
It was right around graduation from high school. And then I started CSUN in 2015.
I don't know if this is dark to say, but I feel like when I left for school, I had a lot of guilt leaving my pets behind and not being able to bring them with me. So at least you didn't have that being I'm sorry I'm leaving you, because that's horrible. That was bad, dude.
I in a weird way, I was kind of thankful she left when she did. I think she knew it was her time, and I knew it was her time. I wrote a paper about her my senior year, and it was it was a very cathartic moment. I still miss her. She's my sweet baby. But my parents had one other beagle before her that's a whole other story. But basically, this is super sad. She died in my dad's arms.
Dude.
Beagles have really bad back problems. So if you have a beagle, just be very aware of them jumping off beds or whatever it is.
Same with Frenchies.
Tasha was a fucking miracle living to 18 the way she did. She was real healthy, and I think because of the way that Molly passed, we really, really took care of of Tasha, and made sure that she didn't jump off anything. We had the stairs, kind of like with dachshunds. When you have the stairs when you go off couches. Or
a lot of people do that now, though, just for safety. I feel like it's better.
Most dogs that are small, just keep them around.
Don't risk
it. As you can.
Yeah, don't risk it, because injury is so easy.
And my parents, Caitlin's met him. It's their first boy beagle. His name's Hunter Bunter.
Hunter Bunter.
We'll put a photo of him because he's the cutest in the world.
So
I'll send you several.
He's a handsome boy.
My full phone. They got him in 2019. So it took a long time for them to get another beagle. But I remember I was about to come home for Christmas. They got him in November. One of those. October or November, maybe late October. And I got a photo of my mom. Hold my Prosecco for people that are watching this. I got a photo of my mom, and I think I can find it. I bet I can find it.
You gotta find it, girl.
And it's the blurriest photo on earth of my mom right here with the tiniest face of a little beagle. Dude. And she's so excited. She's shaking the camera like this. And she's like, guess what? In the caption.
Guess what?
And it's genuinely one of the cutest photos I've ever seen.
Mr. Hunter.
I think my mom was 68 at that point. 67. My mom, I have a lot to look forward to aging.
Bless her heart.
She'll be 71 in October.
Doesn't look it.
She does still dye her hair.
Still.
But
she doesn't look it, girl.
She looks good.
She does.
Yeah, I love Hunter Bunter. We'll put a photo of him because he's just the cutest little baby boy. Will I ever get a beagle in an apartment? No. Because if you're going to get
they're loud, girl.
Yeah, if you're going to get a dog, do your research on just there are some dogs that can be in an apartment and have a very full life. Like, obviously, you need to take them out on walks.
Yeah.
Or into the park. But there are some dogs that, like, need a backyard.
Yeah, that's why Ibra like rehomed Floki. He was like a Belgian Malinois.
Beagles are one of those dogs. Like they need to roam. They need to
like
sniff.
A small like 2-bedroom apartment. Like that's not gonna cut it. That's like a police dog, bro. Like he needs a yard. Yeah.
No. I'll send you a video also, and you could post it later. Hunter, when it's wintertime, because my parents are still in Oregon. They live in Bend now. When it's snowing in Bend, because it snows constantly, he literally hops like a bunny, and he'll shove his face into the snow and hop a couple feet and shove his face. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen in the world.
That's adorable. We'll
so
put
I'll
a video.
It's great.
Yeah.